Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Israel, or Yasharahla. I am coming to you with another video, and today I would like to discuss. We're going to go further into the name, and I have said in previous videos that our records were infiltrated. We know that. We know that. Um, During slavery, we were not allowed to learn how to read. We definitely were not allowed to read the Bible, and we lost limbs if we were caught reading the Bible or attempting to. And any non-melanated person caught attempting to teach someone to read also had harsh consequences. So now we're uncovering the secrets that are in the mysteries that are in the Bible that have been sealed because our enemies have been in control of our scripts since 70 AD. And even when they had their Masoretes or their scribes to transcribe the Bible, they transcribed the Bible and put the name of their God in the Bible so that we, Yasharahla, will be calling on their God. You have to remember the world worship Satan, the entire world worship Baal, worship Nimrod, except for Abraham. Abraham, during the Tower of Babel, the rebellion that took place at the Tower of Babel, Eber, the line of Eber were the only people that were not participating, that did not participate in building this tower and rebelling against the Most High. That's why the line of Eber kept the Hebrew language, and the Most High had to change the other nations, the 70 nations, they had to their language was changed in order to force them to disperse like they wanted to. They wanted the gold of the Tower of Babel, or the gold of Babylon, ancient Babylon, was to have a one world government, one world religion, one world order, one world currency, one world power. And so basically, like Mystery Babylon that we are in now, we have every nationality, every religion, every culture is just a melting pot. Here in America, it's not divided or separated as God divided the world and gave out the lands as inheritance to different nations by tribe. And even with the 12 tribes of Yasharahla, um, all tribes stayed together. Benjamin was allotted a area of land that they all dwelt. Manasseh was allotted, a area of land. Zebulun, they weren't all mixed in together, except for when the separation happened between the northern and southern kingdom, and we split the 10 tribes under Ephraim, and the 10 tribes went under Ephraim, and then Benjamin mainly stayed with Judah, and then we had some Levitical priests that kind of were divided with both, between both tribes. So all right, I didn't even mean to go into all that, but I'm just trying to give you all background. So our enemies have been in control of our records since we were scattered, since 70 AD, which when we had to flee our land and go into the mountains and to Western Africa, to Eastern Africa. And so that started our scattering. The scattering was a punishment from the Most High, as well as it hit us because we were able to hide out amongst the nations and blend in. Because the line of Abraham have always had a bounty on our head. You know, the powers that be, Nimrod, or Satan and his seed. This is the enmity between the seeds that was prophesied in Genesis 3, between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. So the enemy and his seed have been after uh the seed of Abraham. You know, Nimrod thought he murdered Abraham as a child, and but he actually murdered another little boy. Um, Moses was supposed to be murdered at birth, and he was preserved and saved from the water. And Christ, you know, but we know then that Pharaoh too murdered, you know, order for all the Hebrew boys to be murdered at birth. And then Herod, during the birth of Christ, wanted to murder him. And his parents were told to take him into Egypt. And Herod ordered for all the Hebrew boys 2 and under to be murdered. And so the seed of Abraham has been sought out by the enemy, and they have been in control of our records since the scattering, and they have infiltrated our Bible. The Bible says that it prophesies that um, the seed of Esau or Rome would rule the world, but that everything once Israel that was scattered, or Yasharahla that was scattered, repents and calls collectively upon the Most High with their whole heart, because they know his name, as Psalm 91 says, that they know his name and he will answer. Because when we call upon a name, we're invoking that spirit. We are calling upon a deity. And so what I'm saying is that the deities that we have been calling on, even if we say everybody knows, you know, Yashaya Christ as Jesus, no, it's bigger than that. Jesus is a whole nother deity. That's Baal, that's Tammuz, that's the son of the sun god. That is not Yashaya Christ. And so this is just bigger and deeper, and the more that the Most High is revealing to me is mind-blowing. And I want to say this, whatever words that I tell you all, don't take my word for it, because the Bible tells us to search these things out, to seek him with our whole heart, to work out our own soul salvation with fear and trembling. We are called to, because we're going to be responsible for ourselves. And we, for so long, have been misled through the churches. What better way for the enemy to, what master plan, what better way for the enemy to come against us or to keep us ensnared in idolatry than to put it in our own records, to put it in our own scripts. And because of who we are, we have a natural yearning or longing or love for the Most High and his word. But then we're still being ensnared by the paganism and the names of all the false gods that were put added in the Bible. And so that's one thing that I want to say as well. I was a Christian minister for 12 years. I have multiple degrees in the Bible. I have a dual master's degree. I have everything but my doctorate. I never wanted to be a minister. All I wanted, I didn't know what I was going to do with those degrees. I just wanted to, because I had such a love for studying the Bible. I just wanted to study and learn the Bible more. And then and I am a school teacher. And so I thought that, you know, I wanted to teach history, high school history, because of the love that I had for writing papers and researching. So literature and history, I felt like the Bible was historical records, and so that's what I was led to. I initially started out as that, but then I went down to the elementary level, and so basically certified in elementary education, K through 5, and special education, grades K through 8. So that's just a little background about me. But as I would be seeking the Most High and praying, one day he spoke to me. He told in my ear, he spoke to me and told me that his name was not Jesus, that he was not Jesus. He didn't say my name is not. He said, I am not Jesus. And this was maybe 4 years ago, I would say. And I was like, well, who are you? And that kind of led my studying. And then I got into realizing that we were the true people. And I got into let me go back a little bit. I also had a dream. He told me that his name wasn't Jesus. And then and he called me out of the church. And so although I was at home or not physically fellowshipping in the church, I was watching a lot of church online and streaming a specific pastor and his wife online. And then I had a dream one day. I woke up in a hotel room and I looked on the side of me, and that pastor was in the bed. I was in the bed with that pastor, and I knew that that dream meant I was in adultery. So I realized that, yeah, not only was he calling me physically out of the church, he was just calling me out of Christianity, period. So then I turned to y'all. I realized that we were the true people, and I turned to, Yah, Yeshua, and stuff like that. And as I would be praying, I could tell he was not happy, or he was grieved, or he wasn't pleased. And after fasting and prayer, and I had another dream. And this dream, it was the same dream. I woke up in the same hotel room, but this time the bed was full of worms. The bed, some were dried out and dead, some were alive. And so as I researched what the worms meant and prayed about it, I real that meant like detestable. I've already warned you, and now you're continually you're continuing to disobey me or whatnot. And I'm like, well, and that's when I kind of put it together that um they were the same. They were the same, like the Christianity and me now trying to fellowship on the Sabbath with a local Hebrew Israelite group in my area. It was the same. So I'm at home and I'm afraid to pick my Bible up, period, because I'm questioning, well, who are you? I don't even know your name. Is the Bible true? And so I went into more depth, praying and fasting, and asking for the name. And one day I had a dream, and in this dream there were like 4 elders in a room. They took me by the hand and walked me to a blackboard, an old school blackboard, and the name Ahayah was written in white chalk and underlined. So that's when, and I turned to one of the man that wrote it. I turned to him in the dream and said, thank you, and what is the name of his son? But he didn't say anything. He didn't give me an answer, and I woke up. So then I started researching the name of Ahayah, and I realized that Ahayah and Yasha um were the names that had been removed from various texts. Um and the Lord, Jehovah, or the Tetragrammaton, um, Jesus, and things like that were put in place. And so that's when I started calling the son Yasha. And I was corrected. One day I was praying and I referred to him as Yasha, and I was corrected, and I heard that his name was Yashaya, that his name is not Yasha. So the name of the Father and the Son were divinely given to me. And I searched it out, and I see that a lot of people are waking up to the name also being given to them or revealed to them. And the Bible says that those who seek me will find me. And you have to seek it out with a pure heart, earnestly. And that's all I wanted to do was to worship my Father. That's all I asked for. And I did not look for any of this. But as it's being revealed to me, I have to reveal it to the people. And so we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you, because I always try to use credible sources, and I try to show my sources or share so you all can search it out for yourselves. But I am going to show you what I mean by the names being removed. And then I have more information where we'll get into the name of Jesus, and we'll get into Cesar Borgia. That was the inspiration behind the painting, the idolatrous painting that we've been worshiping as Christ. We'll get into that in another video. I'm going to go ahead and pause this for 1 second while I get myself together before we. Okay, I'm back, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to get into, the first thing we're going to start off is getting into the name Ahayah. All right. So Ahayah is H1961, and it means the KJV translates was, come to pass, came, has been, were, happened, become, pertain, better for thee, to be, to become, to come to pass, to exist, to happen, fall out. These are names that the KJV transcribes higher to, but Ahayah, the is the I. So this is just, higher just means come to pass, came, has been, happened. So I am he who was, who is, and who is to come. I'm the past, the present, and the future, all at the same time, because I sit outside of time. I exist. I created time for you all. You all are in time. I am eternal. And so, but the is saying I was, I came to pass, I became, you know. And but I want to go down here where in the strong definition for higher, it says to be or become, to come to pass. And then it says here, always emphatic and not a mere copula or auxiliary. Always emphatic. So we just want to skip over that and keep reading the definitions all together. To become, accomplish, committed, to break, he's the breaker. Okay. But let's see what does always emphatic and not a mere copula or auxiliary means. So now I'm going to go to emphatic. It says the definition here means showing or giving emphasis, expressing something forcibly and clearly. So remember, it said in the name, the definition of his name is always emphatic. It's always to be expressed clearly and forcibly. Like, this is my name. Anytime you see this name, Ahayah, is always emphatic, means always forcibly and clearly, and also a synonym means firm, wholeheartedly, forcible. I'm sorry, forceful or forcible, energetic. Okay, so that is in the definition of that name. So all of that third person and first person and the Hebrew reads this way and that way and all these excuses, no, we have to stop. We have to stop it. This is a type of stuff that got us where we are today, and have us serving our enemies, and have our enemies in control of our text and telling us what the name of our God is. And we're all arguing over the name of our God, and we're all wrong. We all were wrong. But the Most High himself is revealing right now. But we have to be willing and humble enough to realize that we were wrong, repent for it, and be teachable children. Let him teach us all over again. Let him lead us in the truth now. So copula, it says not a mere copula, always emphatic and not a mere copula. What does copula mean? It says here, a connecting word, in particular, a form of a verb, be connecting a subject and a complement. So here over here to the right, it says in linguistics, a copula is a word or phrase that links the subject of a sentence to a subject complement, such as the word is in a sentence, the sky is blue, or the phrase was not being in the sentence, it was not being cooperative. So this is saying, when you see this name, don't look at it as a mere copula. Don't look at it as a mere linking or connecting word, but always reverence that word emphatically, forcibly, clearly, firmly. Okay, so it also said auxiliary is not, it's not an auxiliary. An auxiliary verb is a verb that adds functional or grammatical meaning to the clause in which it occurs, so as to express tense, aspect, modality, voice, emphasis. So we're not just using this word to add functional meaning, like it's firm. It's firm, guys. That's what the always emphatic and not a mere copula or auxiliary means. So now I'm going to share with you all. Okay, this is Exodus 3:14. Moses asked the Most High, what is your name? We went into why he asked for the name. He needed a name. We were in Egypt. We were worshiping the gods of Egypt, the same predicament we're in now. Worshiping the gods of Egypt, worshiping their holidays, worshiping everything in their land, following their cultures and their laws, statutes, and commandments versus the law, statutes, and commandments that were given to us, that were a blood covenant between our father Abraham and the Most High Ahayah. So we were doing the same thing. We knew the names of all the Egyptian gods and we knew what powers they had, but he revealed himself as the Almighty God, or the Almighty power, the Almighty Elohim to our forefathers, but he never gave them a name. And Ahayah says that to Moses. Moses asked for the name too, because in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, they had Ra, Osiris, and all these other gods, and Yah, Yah was a name, a deity in the Egyptian Book of the Dead already. They knew that name. The Tetragrammaton was in that book. That's why Pharaoh said in Exodus 5, when Moses gave him the name, he said, I don't know that God. I don't know him. Who is that? Because the Most High had just given his name to Moses. Nobody knew his true name because the world was worshiping Baal. So they were worshiping Satan and falling under all these different names. So, why my dog is barking. So he says, this is my name, and this name is Ahayah, Ahayah. So we have the Aleph, the Hey, the Yod, the Hey. And then, this is Asher. So I am that I am, the meaning of his name. Now I'm going to go to, this is a 19, it's called Sarshalom.us. But what they've done, they've taken a Bible from 1901 and the scriptures were translated. This is a parallel Bible, a parallel American Standard Version Bible from 1901. And so we have the Greek over here, and then we have the English here. This is 2 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, and I'm going to go over here to the 10th verse. I'm going to read the 10th verse here. For this cause I write these things while absent, that I may not, when present, deal sharply according to the authority which the Lord gave me for building up and not for casting down. So this is how this verse reads, and we see here that it says clearly the Lord. So y'all, I've never heard of the name Ahayah until the Most High gave me the name in the dream. He until he revealed his name. So, and a lot of people have said, I've never heard of that name. So let's go here. This is the Greek translation over here in this parallel Bible. Why does it say Ahayah Asher? This is what I'm telling you. They removed his name and the name of Yashaya out of the records and put in Jesus, put in the Lord, put in the Tetragrammaton. But they slipped up right here. Oops. They slipped up right here. And they did not remove Ahayah Asher from this sentence here. Now we know we typically, let me use my little annotation pen. We know that we typically read from left to right, but we know in Hebrew we're reading from right to left. And where it should say the Lord. Why? Somebody tell me, why is Ahayah Asher? Now let's go back in case, you think I'm wrong. Hold on, let me see this eraser. In case you think I'm wrong, let's go back and look at. Now we see the Aleph, the Hey, the Yod, the Hey. We see the Aleph. We see. Now let me go back. This is the same name. It didn't have. It just had Ahayah Asher. It didn't have it again. But see, they left that. They left this. This was accidentally left when the scribes translated. Why would they do this? Because the Bible said that when his people return to him with a whole heart, repenting, that he is going to restore. He's going to hear us and he's going to restore. So they need to keep us in the dark so that they can stay on top and have us worshiping and calling on their God, Hasatan. All right, so here's another one. This is the Codex Sinaiticus. Once again, I'll make sure I put the links in the description box. You all can search this out for yourself. The Codex Sinaiticus are the oldest Greek manuscripts. These Greek manuscripts are from like the year 140, like 142 AD to 200, I'm sorry, yeah, to 200, to the year 200. So these scripts were written around, around 150 years after the crucifixion of the Most High, of the Messiah, I'm sorry. And so what I've done here, I pulled up Mark chapter 1, verse 9. And then here I touched. What I like about this is very interactive. So like, let's say here I highlight or I touch a certain word. So this word that I touched here, over here in the red, on the actual, these are the actual Papyrus documents. And this is the transcription on this side. So when I touch the transcription, it highlights that particular word on the Papyrus document. So I'm going to highlight this word here, and whatever you touch to down here, it translates it on the transcription in English. So I highlight, I touched the word supposed to be Jesus in Mark chapter 1, verse 9, and it reads, "And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee and was baptized in the Jordan by John." This is the Yod and the Shin or the Sigma. This translates to Yasha, you all. This says Yasha. This in no way, shape, or form translates to Jesus. No way, shape, or form. It's Yasha. And so also I went down to verse 14. I saw it one more place. Yeah, right here. Verse 14. Verse 14 reads, and it should be highlighted down here too. Okay. It reads, but after John was delivered up, Jesus came into Galilee preaching the gospel of God. This is Yasha. So this is just showing you that there are a few texts that they slipped up on that they were not able to change the names. Now, there are verses where it actually was changed, but Mark chapter 1, verse 9 and verse 14, it says Yasha. It doesn't say Jesus here. Going to go to, this is the Blue Letter Bible, lexicon. Yeah. And so I wanted to show you all, yeah, right here. This is Isaiah 11, Isaiah 62, verse 11. In ancient Paleo Hebrew, right here where it said thy salvation, they changed it to Yasha is H3467. They changed it to H3468, and they said Yasha instead of Yasha.
Strong's H3468. Yasha. Yasha.
But it should have said
Second
Yasha.
entry. Yasha. Yasha.
So it's just stuff like this that you literally have to go beyond what the transcribers are giving us, go beyond what the synagogue of Satan. The synagogue of Satan, they're the ones that's in control of everything right now. So we really think that they're going to give us the true name? First of all, the Most High Ahayah himself said in Malachi 1:14 that I am a mighty king and my name is dreadful amongst the heathen. That is the name. When they say, oh, the name of Yahweh, the name of the Tetragrammaton is so holy that we can't call upon it, when the Bible constantly tells us to call upon his name, to know his name, to write his name in our hearts, on our forehead, with his word. Like, how can we know him if we don't know his name? And I think that's a part of, the intimacy of knowing him. It's him revealing his, when you get intimate with a person, when you start dating a person or courting a person, you start telling them those intimate things. You start revealing secrets that you never told anyone. And so we had to seek him and get into that intimate place with him where he starts speaking and he starts revealing truth to us. Okay, so there are two. I listened to these videos a few days ago from these two Igbo brothers, pastors over on the coast of West Africa. And I mean, I felt like the videos were phenomenal. They're uploaded on a website in YouTube, but the person that uploaded them put them in mini player. And so they I can't download. I wanted to download them and re-upload them on my page, but the sharing and everything is limited because of the way that they uploaded it on their page. So the only thing that I can do is I'm going to share my screen and just play a few minutes of each video, and then I'm going to put the links to the video in the description box so you all can listen to them in their entirety. Before I go there, though, I want to read to you Jeremiah 23, verses 25 through 27, and then we're going to read from the book of Acts of why did they go through the lengths that they did to remove remove these names from the records, from the Holy Scripts. Jeremiah 23, verse 25. I have heard, this is Ahayah speaking as well. I have heard what thy prophets have said that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have a dream, I have a dream. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of their own deceit, of their own heart, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as if their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. Let me read verse 27 again. Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. So Ahayah says right here that we would be calling on the name of Baal, thinking that we are calling on him. And then remember, he also said that no man in Judah would know his name or be able to call on his name. Because calling on his name was power. You know, it's like him giving us his name back. It's like he's giving us a grenade. You know, he's giving us some heavy artillery. We have the true name now. And yes, there was power in the name of Jesus. There was power in the Tetragrammaton. There was power in the name of Baal. But it takes me back to Ezekiel, to Elijah, the God that answers by fire. He is God. How long are we going to waver between two opinions? If Jesus is God, if Yeshua is God, then serve him. If Yah is God, serve him. But if Ahayah is God, then serve him. But we can't do both. They're not interchangeable. There are two different powers. These are the same two powers from back in Genesis 3:15 when the fall happened. The power of Baal, the serpent god, the prince of the power of the air, and the power of the most high power of Ahayah. So I get excited sometimes, but I'm like, oh my goodness, boy, he giving us the name. It's on now. It's on. So now I'm going to go to Acts 4:17. And this video will be 2 parts because I have more, but like, I'll discuss more in depth about the names in the next video that I may make today or tomorrow. But Acts 4:17. Reads, but it is spread no further amongst the people. Let us straightly threaten them that they speak henceforth to no man in this name. So these are the scribes and Pharisees. These are the Jews, the Khazars, the converted Jews, the same people that are in the land now, forefathers. These are them speaking amongst one another for coming up with a plan saying we're going to forbid and threaten them that anyone that speaks this name or call upon this name. And so that that happened through Constantine and through other leaders that removed the name and then put pagan names, the names of pagan gods in there. So verse 18 says, and they called them and commanded them not to speak at all, nor teach the name of Yashaya. So this was a commandment put in by the Jews, the same Jews that were the scribes and Pharisees. And then I'm going to go over to Acts 5 and start reading at the 28th verse, and then I'm going to jump down to 40. Acts 5:28 says, did not we straightly command you that you should not teach in this name? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and intend to bring this man's blood upon us. So they're talking to Peter, threatening them, saying, calling them before them, saying, didn't we tell you all not to use this name anymore? And then we're going to go down to verse 40. And to him they agreed, and when they had called on the apostles and beat them and commanded them that they should not speak in the name of Yashaya, and let them go. So that, they were getting beaten and flogged, and, many of them were crucified and burnt and went through different things for speaking that name. Go down to verse 42. And daily in the temple and in every house they ceased not to teach nor to preach Yashaya Christ. So, and if you really look in the records, you will see like, the grievous things that were done to the people that were truly preaching that name, that were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, that were you observing Saturday Sabbath, that were circumcising their children, their firstborns on the 8th day. Constantine was sending people around to make sure, like if you recently had a baby, they were checking the infants to see if they had been circumcised, and if they were, the penalty was death. They were going around making sure no one was observing Saturday Sabbath but worshiping on the first day of the week, which is Sunday. The penalty was death if you were caught keeping Saturday Sabbath. Like, it was so that'll be a whole nother video. All right, so before I play these last two videos from these brothers as well, I want to tell you all there are over 20 different papyrus, ancient papyrus, that has the name Yasha found in the scriptures that had not been removed. Also, there's a book called The Dead Sea Scrolls Uncovered by Robert H. Hennisman and Michael Wise. So they were co-authors. Page, they have pictures of the Dead Sea Scrolls and they discuss them, but page 243 in that book, 247 and 252 have the name Yasha. Also, yeah, so you can go to the deadseascrolls.org and explore the archives and the manuscript. If you go in deadseascrolls.org, you can go to manuscript 4Q418-1, as well as 4Q416, plate 22, and you will see the name Yasha instead of, you won't see Jesus or no Yeshua or anything like that. You're going to see Yasha. And also you can go to fragment 9, column 1. This will just show you, it's human error. Everything wasn't clean. They tried their best to remove the names, but the earth is helping us. The scripts that were preserved in the earth is helping us to find our way back to our Father. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and play these last two videos for you.
This is well, I'm gonna. I keep losing my cleaner. Where is my eraser? Where? Yes, I keep losing my eraser. This is Ya, or you have Ha. This is Yaha. Let me make it long enough. This is Yaha. Then you have the Wa, Yahweh. You see that right here, brothers and sisters? This gives you the Yah, Y. This gives you the Ha, H. This character gives you the Wa, W. And then this gives you the H. This is the Tetragrammaton, Yad He Wah He, in ancient Hebrew. The fake speakers call it Yad He Vah He, because in Yiddish they call this Vah. That's why they speak Vah Vah. But we call it Wah. And what this is actually, like you see here, what you see in this book is Yahweh or Yahweh or Yahweh. This right here gives you Yahweh. This is Yahweh. This is not the name. This is Tetragrammaton. This is the false name, not Yahweh. When they invented the letter G, they changed this J, which is the 1500. They changed it from Y to J, which is J. Then this Y, like I told you, is a V. So you can bring it down. Jehovah. Hold on. Yah. Ho.
No, ho is supposed to be in.
I'm sorry?
Ho is supposed to be in the middle of H.
This is yeah. Ho.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. The ho. Ho, right? Va.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more like it.
Yeah.
I'm losing my train of thought here. So here you have Jehovah. Still have the vowel right here. You have the R right here. You have the J right here. The H, same thing. Jehovah is Yahweh. Jehovah is Yahweh. This is not the true name. And we're going to go to the Hebrew to show what it really means. This is not a real name of the Creator. This is the Tetragrammaton. They say that we cannot call on the true name. The Jewish Zionists say that we cannot call on the true name because it's too holy. So they have to hide it and give us a different name. You have to be mindful about that. They use that to give us a different deity. It's the beginning of all evil. Let's look at the definition of the word. So right here, you're gonna get Yahoo. This right here is Yahoo. You get Yahoo. You see people call it Yahoo. You get Yahweh. Yahweh. You get Yahweh. Yahweh. Same thing.
Yahweh.
Yahweh. You get Yahoo. You have Jehovah. We already showed there's Jehovah. Jehovah in English. Then you get the people that call Yahoo also call on Yahusha. Yahusha, that's who they call Christ. Also, the www.yahoo.com also come from this. Yahoo.com. Letting you know that there's about Satan. They know, they won't let you know these things. Yahoo is also satanic. Think about that. So you have Yahawashi, you have Yahawashi, Yahawashi. These are all offshoots of the same word of the Tetragrammaton. So when you see people calling this name, you gotta be very careful.
And Yahawada.
Yahawada, you have Yahawada, Yahawada. These are all offshoots of the same Tetragrammaton, brothers and sisters. Think about that. You have what else? I mean, you can take it however you want it, man, but it's all from the same root word. So now let's find out what this word means. What does it mean? The Tetragrammaton. There are two parts of it. The Yah. I have let's use this my Bible here. Before we go to Tetragrammaton, I'm going to show something as well from the I have some hope it's still here. It tells you that the Tetragrammaton, Yahweh is Tetragrammaton. I put it here in the back of my Bible. Can someone find it for me, please? Remember that little glossary that I put the name that I tore apart from the other Bible? Which layout? Huh? No, I don't see here. I usually put it at the back of. Okay, there it is. Praise the Most High. I have it here. Here it is. I have what you call, this is Yahweh, the definition from a Bible. I told this grocery that gives you Bible definitions. I got it from the Bible, by the way. This is it. And it tells you Yahweh. Can we read the definition for
Sure.
Yahweh?
Says Yahweh, the covenant God of Israel.
The covenant God of Israel, is that true? That's a lie.
That's right.
They put it in the Bible. The covenant God of Yasharahla, that's not true. Go ahead.
Yahweh, in the original Hebrew, according to Jewish custom, because of the reverence of the divine name, was not to be spoken.
You see that? This is not the real Jews. That's a lie. Because the Bible tells us to call on his name in Psalms 91. Let's look at it. Psalms 91. Psalms 91. He demands for us to know his name everywhere in the Bible, not only in Psalms 91. And read verse 1.
Psalms 91 verse 1.
Yes.
And it reads, He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High
The Most High Elion there. Go ahead.
shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Almighty, show that there. Remember the names that we just read? He that dwelleth in the secret place of Elion there shall abide under the shadow of who?
Of the Almighty.
Show that there. Show that here. Go ahead.
I will say, the Most High, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust.
My Ahayah, in him will I what?
Trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust.
Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11 says, For He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lions and adder, the young lions and the dragons shalt thou trample on the feet. Because He hath set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high.
The Most High said, because we love him, he will deliver us and he will set us up on high. Why?
Because He had known my name.
Because what?
He had known my name.
Because what?
He had known my name.
You need to know his name for us to be delivered, especially us that went into captivity, the Israelites. We need the true and the holy name. Because we know his name, he demands for us to know his name. So don't listen to them when they're trying to use tetragrammaton to tell us to ignore his name, and then they're going to give us Satan, Yahweh, or Yahweh, or Jehovah. Come on. Read a little more.
Because he had known my name.
He shall, verse 15.
Verse 15. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him.
We shall call upon him, and we shall what?
And I will answer him.
Come on.
I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him.
See there? Come on.
With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation.
The word salvation is Yasha or Yashaya, which is Christ. I will reveal Christ to you. When you get the true name, I will deliver you. So you see how the true name is linked to our deliverance as a nation that went into captivity, that's looking for a true deliverer from out of the hand of the synagogue of Satan and the satanic powers controlling the economics, the financial industrial complex. So as you can.
All right, so I'm going to, like I said, I'll post these videos where you all can watch them for yourself in their entirety, because they're really good. These men are very knowledgeable. But I wanted to go ahead and play this next one from them.
And then last but not the least, I also want to look at the Tetragrammaton before we continue this teaching. I'm not going to dwell so much on it because I know we've broken it down. which is the satanic agenda to get everyone worshiping the devil ignorantly. So I'm going to look at the YHWH, if you will, Yod, Hey, Yod, Hey, Wah-Hey, if you will, the Yod, Hey, Vah-Hey. The things that I want to identify here, these are the Hebrew word that gives you the tetra, 1, 2, 3, 4, the tetragrammaton. We saw that this word is pretty hideous. So in this, I want to go to read a few Hebrew, show some, what I wanted to do today, and maybe I have to do that next time. Well, I was going to go and actually take each one of this word and actually break it down to show you what it really means, that this is actually wicked. And we're not supposed to be calling on this name. An example that I'm going to give you, you have the YH, we have Yah, Hey, Wah, Hey, the tetragrammaton, and they all come accordingly. Yah, Yaha, or Yaha, Yaha, Wah. And we know when you turn this, it becomes Jehovah or Yahweh. This is Yahweh. Now, I'm going to read from the Strong's Concordance. This is the reason why this stuff is pretty bad. The root word that you get from this is in Hebrew. You get this from Hebrew 753. Can we read that? This word says awa. This is a anye. This gives you the anye or the o sound. This is the wa sound, if you will. And then this gives you the this is the word for awa or owa. It means to be crooked, literally or figuratively, to do amiss, to bow down, to make crooked, to commit iniquity, to pervert, to do perversely, to double, trouble, to turn, to do wickedly, to do wrong. This is from 5753. This is where this word comes from, brothers and sisters. It comes from this word.
All right, so I'll go ahead and stop recording right now, but you all have a blessed and a wonderful Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom, and I will see you soon in the next video. Ahayah permits.